Hello there, I am Greg Tannahill.
And I am Jonty Peach.
Hello, and thank you for joining us for Elevenses to celebrate 11 years of The Play That Goes Wrong.
Woo!
In the West End. Wow. So yeah, I guess we just crack on with our very civilised tea and water and cupcake. Oh yeah, let's get into
Shall I ask you your first question?
Yes, do it.
What was your first role on stage?
My first role on stage. So, my first role on stage since graduating, finishing drama school, so professional paid, role, was, I can't remember the role names because there was a few roles. I played like a German, a cook, an officer, and a painter in a show called Events While Guarding the Beaufort's Gun at the Finborough Theatre.
Right.
And yeah, it was a great job. It was a great first job out of drama school, and it was set in World War I or II, I think one. So we were all, and it was in the winter, so everyone had like these like thick, like World War jackets and stuff. However, we did the play in the height of summer at the Finborough, and so it was everyone on stage going, while dripping sweat.
You got the flu or something.
Yeah. But yeah, so it was a really good job. There was good people on that.
Did you know Did you know you were going to be playing all of those characters when you got the job, or did they just keep adding?
I'm pretty sure they told me at the beginning. Right?
You're going to be playing everyone.
Yeah. It was and I even had to do a bit of pre-show as well. My first, I was a painter, just kind of painting things. Yeah. And I remember on the first night, I was meant to be like painting things, and I just kind of ran out of things to do, so I pretended to be asleep while the audience came in. Got a note about that the following day.
That's good.
But my first role on stage as a kid, I'll never forget, was a for sale sign.
What?
I was in a show called, I can't remember how old I was. Young, but it was for a play called something like The Seven-Sided Dice, and it was something about kids travelling through loads of different board games to fight the evil witch or something like that. And I was in the Monopoly section. Maybe others as well, I can't remember. But I was just had the sandwich board on me, and I was a for sale sign.
Did you have a line?
I had a song.
You had a song?
Well, me and others had a song. It wasn't just me.
Okay, yeah.
But I can remember how some of the song went. Monopoly, it's all about property. Monopoly, it's all about property. That's all I can remember.
And you thought at that point, your parents or whoever was with you thought,
I was like,
natural.
This guy's going places.
Amazing.
I kind of want to know your first role on stage as well.
Okay, well, I'll do two like you. So I'll do.
Oh, that is my question. That is my question for you anyway.
Oh, perfect.
Oh, there we go. What was your first on stage?
Okay, nice.
Go, great.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. My first as a child, to copy you, I think I did like an Easter workshop with a local youth theatre where every kid had like a different coloured top, and we just did loads of songs. And I think it was a very sweet actually story because my mum was chaperoning at the time backstage. Oh, yeah. And the only memory I have from it, maybe it's just because I've been told it so many times, we were doing a few songs and I was there in jeans and a coloured top, and we were there going to sing Food, Glorious Food or something. And I'm there and I'm kind of like really revving myself up there. And then my mum was like, Jonty, come back a bit. And I just went, oh, I'm just so excited to get out there. And I was there, me at like 8 or 9 years old. So that's my first moment amazing. On stage.
So keen straight away.
So keen, just
great.
Like, awesome. I really want to go sing this song. Which is very sweet. So anytime that I think I need to be reminded how much I love it, I think that's a good story to go to.
That's great.
And then my first role out of drama school, I did an outdoor theatre tour of Romeo and Juliet. There was about 6 of us in the cast. And it was very sweet because my girlfriend at the time, and still now, played Juliet. Which I think also was quite useful for saving money on rooms. But
you were together before you did the job?
Yes.
Okay.
But so we went around for about 7 weeks, which was a really amazing experience because I think it's very rewarding, the places you go to, all these castles and stuff. But then also it's a bit of an acting badge of just like, digging in and setting up the thing and taking an hour and a half and then setting it down and the rain comes. Oh, yeah. And I vividly remember, I think about 2 weeks in, when it felt like we were only in sun for the whole time. And then suddenly we finished a show in this forest, in this gorgeous outdoor arena, and we put everything into the van, and the van was in some kind of like thick mud.
Oh no!
And okay, 5 minutes go past, 10 minutes go past, and we get to about an hour in of just different trying to push it and stuff. The producer, bless him, was like starting to cry, starting to be like, no.
Oh, God.
But then the complete euphoria of suddenly everyone just like with all their might, just like,
we
will push this man, and then it going about 10 meters out of the dirt. Everyone like,
great. The music swells.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
yeah,
but
no, it felt very kind of old school, going around with an acting troupe and going to some cool places. So
God, really makes you appreciate like the jobs where you don't have to do anything.
I know. Suddenly going then to doing something indoors was like, oh my God, it's raining. It doesn't matter. How long have you been playing Jonathan for?
Okay. So, old Jonathan Harris. So I guess like since 2013, I guess maybe 12.
2013.
2013, I guess. But when I first came into the company, because like the show had actually happened for the first time without me, when it was called The Murder Before Christmas, and it was originally written as a Christmas show.
And it was one act.
It was one act, yeah. There's kind of the reason why there was like snow and stuff is because it was Christmas. There used to be the section with like Perkins bringing in mince pies. Anyway,
nice. Yeah.
That whole thing. I went to see it because I lived with Jonathan Henry and stuff, and pals throughout drama school and stuff like that. And I went to see that one and loved it. But it was when they did it again and renamed it Play That Goes Wrong. That's when they came to me to say like, oh, can you come and help us out for I think like 4 weeks or something. I was like, yeah, sure, I'll be in this for like no money, We're kind of like you were saying with the kind of you really get in there. Like there was so many. It used to be that we had to like there were sections of the play where people were like opening the doors and stuff, where like part of our track would be like, okay, you need to brace this bit of the stage, just like all that stuff.
Yeah.
But originally, I came in and I played Robert. That was the first role I played in the Play That Goes Wrong.
Wow.
And then we'd be here for ages, so I went into the whole like timeline of it all. But because Play That Goes Wrong, kind of it finished a run and then came back and then went to Trafalgar Studios and came back and and like I didn't do the first bit of Trafalgar Studios, but when I didn't do the first bit of Trafalgar Studios, that's when Henry Lewis took back the role of Robert, and then when I came back into it, I did Jonathan.
So was he just in a kind of creative position? He wasn't in it for a while.
No,
or
he
played
was still
someone
in
else?
it. Yeah, he originally played Robert.
Yeah.
But when the casting changed, whatever, the person who was playing Jonathan beforehand wasn't part of the one back. Henry Lewis was like, oh, I'm going to have a go at Jonathan.
No way, amazing.
Yeah. So he was playing Jonathan and I was playing Robert.
Oh, that's
back
so
in the
fun.
day. And there was even one point where I was rehearsing to be Max as well. To be ready for that as well, but I never went on as Max.
Do you think that you could have done the other characters once you were kind of a year in or however you'd been with the show? Do you think that if someone said you're on, would there be a character that you?
Do you know what? I think definitely at a point, yes. I think all of us could have got on and done a version.
It would have been quite fun.
Yeah. That kind of would have been fun if we all just went
just picked out of a bag.
Yeah, just went for it.
Yeah.
But yes, Jonathan for 12 years? 12 years? I don't know. How long's it been? I don't know.
Yeah,
Someone else can correct me.
Yeah.
On and off as well, of course.
Yeah.
So, what's the difference for you between performing musical comedy and comedy in a play? For example, as was in Stranger Things, you starred in Stranger Things, and Operation Mincemeat.
That's a good question.
Great CV.
Wow, I think there's similarities between whether there's music or not music, because I think especially in the Play That Goes Wrong, like there is a rhythm and a kind of you can hear how the jokes work the best, or you can hear the rhythm of how that goes. I think the difference obviously then is with music there is I guess a tighter kind of you can't go outside of it in any way. I think the difference in just without music is that you have more chance to listen to the audience, or if something does happen or change, then there's a new rhythm introduced that you're allowed to pick up on, which in musicals, unless it's in a scene obviously, which both of those shows do have lots of moments that are really reliant on the audience, but when it's the whole way through is without music, I think you have more availability and readiness to, if someone's got a weird laugh or someone shouts out something, To clock in on that and allow that to be part of the new rhythm of the show a bit.
To adjust and recover or whatever maybe.
Completely. Or if something drops or smashes that wasn't supposed to smash, then there's like a new bit that happens. Whereas I think with musical theatre, you're trying to kind of like completely swan across this water and look like everything is completely fine in those musical moments, whether it's dance or song, because, you know, the moment has happened, the story's happened, and you have to keep on pedaling and just keep on sailing on top of the horse kind of thing. So there is lots of similarities, but I suppose, that would be the main difference, is having a more awareness of the audience and then being a bigger player. In
those other shows, in the musicals, did you have any moments where it was like, oh God, we need to recover from this and get back on set?
Some lovely moments that I think because the kind of barrier to something being able to penetrate a musical is higher, if that makes any sense, of whatever the audience reaction is. The things that do penetrate are often at moments that are brilliant, like there's a bit of a ballet sequence of these telephones getting wired up and confused. And on one of the shows, there was a brilliant moment where Sean Carey, who is an alumni of Play It Goes Wrong, he dropped this telephone and it just smashed on the floor, and they're still tangled in this moment. And you had this big eruption of laughter, and he's playing this Spanish man. He's like, it's about to get a lot more complicado, and just like this amazing moments where that does and has happened. So those are the best as well, aren't they? Like, you know, when suddenly something comes out of something random,
a different kind of, like, as you were saying, a different kind of life suddenly, like just like appears on stage. Great. Cool.
Okay, one for you.
Alrighty.
What is it like returning to the role over the years?
Oh, yeah, okay. So, because that's the thing. I've been playing Jonathan for however long, I said. But obviously there's been some big breaks in between with other work and lack of work. But, I mean, it's great. It's always good to come back to him. But something I was discussing with Jonathan Sayer, the writer, one of the writers of the show, about the character of Jonathan Harris. Like, throughout the kind of like Cornley Goes Wrong kind of history or whatever of show wise, Jonathan can be a bit more of a kind of a utility role, a bit more kind of like written in a way to kind of like facilitate what's needed in the show. Obviously, that's the same for everyone in the Play That Goes Wrong, being the kind of original one. But like when with Peter Pan Goes Wrong, it kind of he needed to have a bit more arrogance about him, a bit more kind of confident, a bit more confidence and bravado and stuff to make the storyline of the kind of love triangle work and stuff like that. Spoilers if you haven't seen it. And then in Christmas Carol Goes Wrong, which I won't go into too much detail of because we're going to go into rehearsals of that soon. He's also had to kind of like have a bit of a shift to kind of facilitate the show. Whereas like Chris Bean and Robert Grove, they're like way more kind of like clear kind of their personalities are quite like
you get
clear.
More from them.
Exactly. Whereas Jonathan, and in the Goes Wrong show as well, kind of like just kind of because because a lot of the time the characters do things because it's funny. So Jonathan in the TV shows we did, the writers very much kind of like went with the idea with the Jonathan being bad at entrances, with him not being able to kind of come in and stuff like that, and so you don't actually get to hear him speak much. So he's very much been a like kind of a utility role. Really. So in different shows, I have a kind of a different kind of thought of
of who he is and how much you can play of that, even though you know that that's where he will go in other worlds.
So for me generally it shifts from show to show, but generally I kind of see Jonathan as a bit more, especially in the Play That Goes Wrong, I was like, he is actually really capable. They all are to a certain extent, but like his decision making and his performance can actually be quite good. It's just all the stuff they're getting in the way. So like with the TV show, like I kind of had in my head like, oh, if he did get to come on and make it through these things, the doors opening when they're meant to be, he'd be quite competent. He'd be able to do it.
It'd be quite.
But then it's just the enjoyment is just seeing his frustration.
The like fact grow.
That But I know that kind of applies to like most of the roles and stuff. But that's
there's potential there that you never quite get to see.
Exactly. Yeah. All right.
Nice.
Da-da-da. Oh, okay. Yeah, how? And this leads on. How would you describe Jonathan?
Yeah, it's interesting. I think taking on, talking about that confidence and arrogance, I think it's a really interesting part because, as you say, you don't get lots of text and interactions with other characters to go off. But you obviously get that he's chosen to be part of this thing. There's this big dramatic moment at the end, and I think it's kind of this person who thinks a lot of himself, thinks he's quite cool, and wants his moment in the sun. And to invite, he'd probably invite all his friends and say, "Come and watch this. I'm gonna have such a cool ending to this show that you're gonna love." Maybe a girl that he fancies or whoever to be there and be like, "This is the first thing. Oh yeah, I'm an actor actually. Come and see my Amjam show." But I think he genuinely is also kind of interested in it. As you say, like at the end, there's probably this monologue that he's prepared and these big final moments that he's probably quite proud of. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been part of this thing. Which is then why it's so painful that like from the get go, it's like, I'm going to look so stupid. No. Right up to the end. So I think he's probably someone that enjoys the theatre world and thinks he's got a lot of potential. As you say. And then it's just quite heartbreaking when it falls down from the beginning.
Like over the years, we've had like rehearsals and stuff. We always have these like, little conversations and theories of like why certain things go wrong. And stuff like that. And I remember ages ago we kind of like joked that maybe Jonathan didn't actually. He was too busy with other stuff to actually make most of the rehearsals. But he knew his cue line.
Yeah, knew his cue line.
Knew his cue line, which is why. It's just that. It's always. He keeps coming in the wrong place.
It's so funny because it's so easy. We I don't know if you did the same because you were creating the show when you were rehearsing it, but we started with rehearsing the Murder at Havisham Round.
Oh yes,
which was then really useful. But during those rehearsals, it proved to me how easy it is to suddenly panic because we were still learning the show and the lines and the set and all that stuff, and we'd done it over a couple of days. And I was backstage holding the gun, and then there was a cue line for one of Robert's entrances, and I was there a bit panicked, and I just turned to him and I went, "Now!" And he went on too early. But it's so quickly to kind of get that kind of that fear response. So I do feel for Jonathan Harris, that is.
Because that's the thing, like all these characters, like we've all people in the biz. Have like been there in some respects. So exactly like you're saying, it's just like we've all had that first night. Like we need to focus. We need to. Like, and if you don't focus, you just have to play catch up. And
Oh no.
Great.
Okay, awesome. What's
next? All right. What's next? I'm gonna have a bite of this cake.
Yeah, do it. I will join you after I. All right. If you could play another Cornley member, who would it be? Having previously played Robert originally way back when, which is what we spoke about.
I immediately regret eating the cake.
Yeah.
Without a napkin. Have we got any napkins over there?
No, it's all right. We can.
It's fine. I'll embrace it.
Yeah.
I'll embrace the chaos.
Shall I ask you that question again?
Yes, because I was completely distracted.
I will. I will slow it down as well.
Right, no, I'm fine. We'll go with it. We'll go with it.
So.
Yes, I'm listening.
If you could play another Cornley member, who would it be? Brackets, having previously played Robert originally way back when.
Oh, there we go. I talked about that. I didn't mention like when so I used to be first cover for Robert as well. So I'd play Jonathan, and then if Hen was off, I'd play Robert, and then someone else would play Jonathan. Just because I knew that part.
Yeah.
But if I could choose now, I don't know. They'd all be fun, and they're all fun in their own ways.
Yeah.
Like I kind of would like to have a bash at Chris Bean.
Yeah.
I think I quite like that because I quite often with Jonathan, it's he can be a bit of a naive kind of clown, and I think I'm maybe a bit more naturally naive a clown. So I would love to just kind of give Chris Bean a bash of like being that kind of anger and frustration and just like
front foot.
Yeah. But I also know how knackering that role is.
Yeah.
In all the shows, and Peter Pan as well, just being on stage all that time.
Yeah.
Having that energy, having that tension.
Kind of, completely.
Yeah. I think many people who have played Chris Bean in the past have had like neck problems because of tension. So you know.
Good luck, Jack.
Yeah.
Okay, amazing.
But of course, I'd be a fantastic Sandra.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, you would.
All right, you're getting there.
These are unbelievable.
These are great. These are really good.
What have you got? A cherry?
A cherry? No, a raspberry, chocolatey something. Oreo?
Oreo.
All right. You've been playing Jonathan for a few months now. Anything new you've discovered about him over the course of that time? I don't know, we might have touched upon this already. But anything you kind of, as the run has gone further on, which you kind of...
I think the more, especially going from the rehearsal room to having an audience, you learn a lot of how the audience reacts to you, and therefore then how your character feels about the audience reacting to you quite a lot. So that's been very useful. And I think... obviously having the pressure of the audience noticing every time that something's gone wrong is really useful. But at the very end, when he comes in and he gets his entrance right, and there's sometimes a cheer that you hope, and just how much of like relief and like like satisfaction and like I knew like yes, that's been really useful to kind of play. How much it really does matter to him that he gets this like last moment right, like he's been so, he's probably been in his bedroom turning and doing different kind of like James Bond gunshots. So that's been really nice, having that moment of victory at the end, to know like that's what he's dreaming of happening. So every time that it goes wrong, which are a few, it's like so far from that. But yeah, the audience has been really useful for that, and I think for everyone, it teaches you so much of each clown, like Dennis or Max, the audience reacts to them in the same ways, but Dennis, like, it doesn't know what to do with that reaction, whereas Max is like, listen to that. So that's been useful for all of us, I'd say.
It's very weird, like doing the show once you've done it with an audience. It's very weird not to do it with an audience.
Oh god. No, that's I remember we had, I think, a rehearsal or a cover rehearsal or something, and then suddenly to do it with silence, it's like, it's painful. Or on the days that maybe it's a bit of a quieter show or a less full show, and then the difference. Oh no. Okay.
All right. Oh, that was you. Oh, it's for me. Okay.
I think. Favorite funny memory.
I'm not going to bite this.
From
sorry.
True.
Sorry.
It's so hard because it's like.
No, it started. I want to finish it.
Favorite funny memory from your time playing Jonathan.
Now, there's been so many over the years. There's
sounds like you're about to go into a song.
Oh yes. I mean, quite often we've talked about. I think in loads of like interviews and stuff, we've talked about. There's this infamous raspberry story. In fact, I don't know if you've heard this. I don't know. There's back when we were doing the Play That Goes Wrong tour. The first time it was a 2-act version. We toured it, and one of our understudies, Chris. It was fantastic. But in the top of Act 2, when the curtain comes up, it's chaos, and it comes back down. We used to be a bit more kind of... People would do a bit more kind of random things.
Nice,
I can't remember specifically all the stuff. Some stuff was always the same, but like...
Fun.
So one day, he was just sitting on the chaise with a punnet of raspberries. And then we were all caught. And then when everyone has to run off, I can't remember if he trips or gets knocked or whatever, just the way he moves, the raspberries just go all over the stage. and so for the rest of Act 2, it's people who hadn't been on stage yet as well. Just kind of everyone was like on stage at that moment, just trying not to laugh and like there's raspberries everywhere. And everyone coming on after that, just realising something's a bit different. But also raspberries kind of stain clothing.
I was about to say it's dangerous.
Oh yeah, so like people had all these kind of raspberry stains all over them, and people of course were finding it harder and harder to kind of keep it together. Yeah. So that's we talked about that a lot. I've also I'm gonna tell a few. There's also when we were doing the 1-act version where Jonathan, who was playing Dennis, his handcuffs broke when he was meant to be attached to the chaise long, but rather than hide them, he went. He was free, and he just ran off stage. But in the 1-act version, especially, we have like limited space, and with the flat falls at the end, like it's all. Anyway,
but wasn't he still needed for lines or?
Well, I think in that version, maybe all he had to do was like take the chaise off.
And then come...
And then, like, be in the doorway, whatever.
Yeah.
Or might be in other things. But,
that is hilarious.
So the show's carrying on in the kind of chaotic finale with people kind of wide-eyed, like, we need to get rid of the chaise. And then Nancy playing Annie just starts screaming. I think it was after like a hit on Sandra or maybe throwing. She's going, starts hulking out, just picks up the chaise by herself and just kind of shoves it off stage, and we carry on. And I remember, I'm pretty sure my reaction was very genuine. It was like, oh, God,
what is happening? Yeah,
it's crazy. Yeah,
who are these people and what is going on?
Yeah,
that is brilliant.
So yeah, those are some funny moments, but also another moment which I don't think I've talked much about in interviews over the years and stuff is. There was which is a Jonathan thing, maybe less funny, more just like an interesting story. Is we used to have every now and then like problems with the platform falling how it was meant to, just every now and then.
Oh yeah.
And we didn't have all our contingencies like set in stone. I don't think. And anyway, there was one show where the platform only went like it was jammed on like one or two, I can't remember, so it hadn't fallen on the way, so therefore couldn't do the truss swing properly.
Right, yeah.
So backstage, like, what do we do? And then eventually I was like, don't worry, I'll just do it. I'll just do something. I'll pretend to slip and it's fine. I'll fall off. Whatever. And so instead of the truss swing, I came out, pretended to slip, rolled down the platform, and this was deliberate. I decided this was the right thing to do. Rolled down the platform and off. And just landed
this is
on
when
my
the platform
back.
is still flat.
It's still up. Yeah. It was still like a little bit tilted.
So it had gone so you roll. That's still about what, 7 feet?
Yeah. And I just decided, I'm just going to fall, and fell clumsily. Kind of like, I tried to control it and landed. I think I landed on my back somehow or whatever. I was a bit winded, but we carried on. But it was just me as I did. I was like, that was dumb.
When you got to the floor and you'd landed.
Yeah.
Did you think, like, what were you in pain, or were you just like, I think it worked?
I think it was so long ago now, but like, I think I was a little winded, but we didn't stop the show.
Yeah.
We had the same moment of like, that happened.
Yeah.
Let's keep going.
Yeah.
And I could stand up and stumble over to where I was
I love that.
But I wouldn't recommend that
if
that happens.
I think I respect that kind of like bravery to the show, just being like, no, don't worry, I've got an idea. Just yeet yourself off the platform.
But as the years have gone on, like definitely we used to do that a lot more. We're like, it's fine, we'll do this.
Yeah, it's fine,
we'll do this. But now we're very much more like, it's not fine.
Yeah.
Let's stop the show. Yeah. Let's maybe save
matter.
our bones and our bodies and stuff like that. It's absolutely fine if we stop the show.
That's so funny because just to go off in contrast now, the contingency for that.
Oh yeah.
Which maybe the fans would enjoy, but rather than rolling yourself off a platform onto the floor, then Jonathan has to come on, pretend to send a telegram on the thing with like make believe, and then walk off again. Which when we did the rehearsal for that contingency, I think that was probably one of the funniest things that's ever happened. Because going from doing the truss swing and then just walking on, now to send that telegram, and then walking off again.
That is fantastic.
So I think
Oh yeah. Because I think our contingency was just like I'd come through the door, go whoa, and that was it, and just leave. Yeah. That's way better. That's great. It's funny because like totally on a tangent here, not totally on a tangent, but like. It used to be that Max would go up. It used to be like, Arthur, go get the... And it wasn't even about sending a telegram. It was like fetching something from the safe. The safe is still there on the stage,
safe's
right?
there, yeah.
Because that used to be like a working safe thing, and he used he had to go up there and take some papers from it. So it used to be the Max would come out and go, whoa, and like be balancing on the top, like in a weird position, while still having to get papers out.
Oh,
and, like,
I see,
leave. Yeah, it's funny. Funny how things change.
So many memories. It's gorgeous.
Memories. All right.
Okay,
my turn or your turn? I can't remember whose question that was.
My turn. I think I just did funny memories.
Oh yeah. So you got a funny memory.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to be while you're talking and be rude.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I've only got 3 months on you here, so I feel like mine maybe might be more diluted than raspberries and rolling off platforms. But there's been a few. I think. The first time, I mean, I don't know how you handled it, but there's a moment where Jonathan is spat on very early on, and then bolts upright because of this cold water, and then very quickly has to locks eyes with Sandra, like right up there, which I think that's a bit of a problem part for me. And there's been a few times where there's just been this perfect spit, if I can say that phrase, where I then bolted up, and then just like a perfect trickle of water just slowly coming down the face, and then it's seeing in Charlotte's eyes that she is noticing this amazing thing going down my face and having to be completely still. And then that kind of like pain but enjoyment, I think, will forever be a really enjoyable part. But outside of that, there's a moment where the pillar comes off of the platform and then it's passed back through the window at the back. And there's a mat there to just step on over, and usually, you know, just take the pillar and move. It's completely fine. It's a fleeting moment of panic, but usually it's all fine. But there was a moment about 3 or 4 weeks ago where I don't know what I did, but I went to step up to take the pillar, and as I did, my left leg started to trip. And I just started to slowly go.
Oh no!
And then I was kind of looking, and I had the pillar, and then the pillar weight was taking me backwards, and there was this really embarrassing, pathetic, slow fall, and I think I just kind of just said, "Oh," really quietly, and then rolled off backwards, leaving poor Tom and Tesh on stage to have to deal with that, and then instantly them cracking up. And then I think in the moment of, it's like,
did the pillar not like smash into the like?
No, I managed. It was this. It was
clean.
kind of like this big, spear thing that was kind of able to go around the window, and I rolled off backwards into the curtain, and then even though I was off stage and the audience couldn't see me, I hid. I went to the corner and kind of just, as if I'd just done like knock door run or something, and I was so, oh my god, I can't believe that's just happened. But that was amazing. And then
fantastic.
my one last one that's come to mind is kicking the door a few months in and kicking it, but with a bit of gusto, and a wood chipping, like a panel of the thing about an inch across, just landing over the shades, almost like there was a violin playing, just like the door. This like gorgeous thing. Which then is obviously like the funniest thing ever, because there's 4 people on stage just being like, well, that surely you just saw that.
Oh man, the doors in Mischief shows, they take a beating.
Yeah.
I think my Jonathan time broke a few.
Few doors, yeah.
I like that. I don't know, do they still have the extra reinforcement in
yes,
that bit
the
you
metal.
kick?
Yeah.
Oh, they do have that now.
Yeah,
Still, cool.
That's useful. That's to aim for. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like bless those doors. I mean, even the slams they get. I mean,
yeah.
Testament to the set.
Yeah, there you go.
Very well made.
Olivier award-winning.
Yeah,
sets.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, like going back to the one-act version where we had to, like I was telling you, we all had to brace the set while people slammed doors and stuff. Man. And the reason we had to do that was because if the set was slightly off its marks for the final window,
they wouldn't,
because it was a one-act set and much smaller. The room for error for the Buster Keaton Annie through the window thing was much smaller.
Right.
So like if it had shifted too far, it could clock, and that never happened, thank God.
Yeah.
If it did, I can't remember.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why we were like slamming doors, which was necessary, but also like, oh, for God's sake.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Yeah.
When you were bracing them, could you feel like the shock? Did you wear gloves or anything, or was it just a case of just?
I think it was just more like
stay there,
it would shift, and then you might have to. So like, maybe you kind of see the set shift a little bit the other way again as you like finding them.
Yeah.
Because it used to be a bit of a simpler set, obviously. It's like just kind of door, window, fireplace? No, door, window, something like that.
Right.
I'm old now.
Oh, amazing.
Cool. Okay. Oh, are we on fan questions? We're on fan questions now.
Okay.
All right. These are to both of us, I guess.
Yeah.
So I'll start. So since you play a corpse for most of the show, spoilers. What's your biggest corpsing moment? Corpsing is breaking for you Americans out there.
Yeah. Good question. There was I love this moment so much, but it was right at the end of the show, and the plot is trying to get to its end, and we hear that someone's been poisoned, and as I'm looking over to Robert, and I'm kind of saying that, where do you think the poison is? Someone in the audience went with quite a lot of warning in her voice. Just went, "There's poison in it."
Oh God.
There's poison in it. Which it was a lot of care and kind of like, I've figured it out. Which I think when you suddenly hear someone kind of actually say words, I think that was the biggest moment, and then obviously as soon as my cheek starts to go,
Yeah.
and then you're kind of having to trying to turn it into a laugh or something, and then I think the worst thing is the 5 seconds after moments like that. I don't know if it's the same for you, but you can kind of take the shock or whatever, and then the 5 seconds of kind of that just happened starts going away, and then you go into the 10 seconds and you start reliving what's actually just happened, and then you look at someone else's eyes and you go, oh my god, they heard that as well. And I got to the last speech of the play, I was holding so hard, and then I heard Tom behind me, who's playing Max's point, and he's hiding behind a wall, and he just goes, and that was just enough. And then I said, the murder at Howsham.
A strong
yeah, so strong. Oh god, so that was really painful. But whoever that lady was that said there's poison in it, you really got me, so thank you for that. What about you?
Oh man, I think generally, I don't know if my fellow castmates will agree with this, but generally I'm quite good at holding it together. But I'm not immortal. I'm not, you know, I like. But my main, like in the play that goes wrong, I can't remember any like specific moments. But I'm sure there were some. But recently in the comedy about spies, we well into the run, I hadn't corpse, maybe a smirk here and there, or here or there, but just I don't even know why it happened. There's bits in the show where I suddenly surprise Henry Lewis, playing Mr. Dr.
So well.
Dr. Woodbead, Mr. Woodbead. And for some, because it once happened once, it had then happened a few other times in those moments. We'd like broken the seal, you know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's it.
When,
you're gone.
Yeah, and I can't remember what this triggered this, because it happens a few times. But like, Henry's like mouth started to go, and then I just started, and we were just both audibly, just like blatantly, just laughing on stage. We're meant to be in this tense moment, and then. I might be mixing the occasions up because they happen all in the same place. But then there was another moment where I surprised him with my presence, and I decided, I was like, you know what, I'm not going to look him in the eye. I'm just going to look at the time. I'm going to look at the time.
Much worse.
And of course, as soon as I did it, I was like, this made it worse, because he's suddenly very aware I made a different choice to stop laughing. It made him laugh, and then I laughed. And so it just becomes this absolute battle.
Yeah.
Like, even though you see us laughing on stage, there's also like a real battle happening. We shouldn't be laughing.
Yeah. It's a very fun feeling. I think because it's so playful, it's nice to kind of keep that kind of silliness and wanting to try new things. And it's a very funny feeling when someone comes off stage and would just be like, I just got Greg. You know, or just like, it's a very like, I think I got, just in his eyes, I could see something was moving.
That's naughty though. That's
it's naughty. It is
Actors shouldn't be looking for the corpse. If it happens, fine. But don't look for it.
No, it's good fun. But I can imagine there being lots of very strange things that maybe went wrong that weren't supposed to go wrong.
Oh yes, definitely.
Yeah.
I was just thinking of another like moment of I have another one where, like, with Henry Shields' character in the comedy about spies, we have a kind of long tense moment where I'm slowly raising my hand to my mouth to do this cough. It's silly. See the show when it comes back. And we foolishly had talked about it before, just me, Henry, and Adele. We had talked about like just that moment in general, and I mentioned how like, oh yeah, that's kind of a moment where like I don't look him in the eye. I always look between his eyes or at his forehead or something. It's just like, because then it looks like I'm looking in the eye, but I'm not really, and it makes it easier for me to hold. But because we had talked about it and we were all aware of it, as soon as I started it, Henry's eyes just kind of, you could just see something else in his eyes. And again, it's just kind of this horrible infection is like bounce, and Adele's are going, like, oh, he's going, we're going.
Yeah. It's this invisible thing that as soon as someone's been infected with it, that's so dangerous because you just, even at them genuinely trying to root themselves and not look, it's even funnier because you just see them panicking, just really trying to.
Just being aware of those active choices of trying to hold it together. Makes it harder to hold together. Yeah.
Okay, what have we got here?
Oh yes, what's the other one?
Any tips on how to time an entrance for the hardest impact? Oh,
okay.
Yeah, this is something I would even ask you now for myself.
So that was from Cam_H_51.
That's it,
the previous question was from Luke L4W Rents.
Yeah. Luke Lawrence.
So thank you for these questions, you guys. Any tips on how to time an entrance for the hardest impact? That's interesting because there's so many factors that can affect that. That's hard. That's hard. So my first thought that comes to mind is generally I'd probably argue it's best to come at the end of a line rather than kind of jarring a line, because then the audience kind of then you can jar the performance and the audience to like, oh, we need to readjust. Whereas at the end of someone's line, if it's kind of like a jumping off point rather than a kind of a stumble and here we are, or like a kind of pushing someone over and here we are.
Yeah, my bit now.
Yeah, exactly. But no, this is the first time I've properly thought about this, so someone might completely disagree with me because, like, I'm sure there's a context where smashing in the middle of someone's line could be really absolutely fantastic. Yeah. In the world of the play that goes wrong, what's the tips? I mean, it's just come in hard and confident.
I think that there's a lot of it, isn't it? If you're going to make that choice, if that's your choice, that you're unashamedly coming in, you have no preconceived ideas that it's wrong at all. As you say, and you said earlier about that, there's so many factors that play a part of it, and we speak a lot as a company, and I'm sure lots of other companies and you guys, when you were setting it up, spoke about how everyone has a job to play in every moment. You know, whether it's setting up the tension and the plot, or, you know, we're actually doing all right now, and then now we're not all right again, you know, because if it was a bit tentative and something in the scene is a bit weird and then there's an interruption with someone coming in wrong, it's funny, but it doesn't have the same, like, no factor, or if people's eye lines or where the focus is of where the problem is aren't all kind of together. There's so many moments that I'm sure in the play that require so many factors, as you said, about there's not kind of one bead of information.
Jonathan's entrances just wouldn't be as funny. I'd like to see it, but like, because I've been proven wrong, but like if he just came in like apologetically, you know?
So fast as
not much of an impact there. Really. So it's just like, boom, here I am. Then deal with the consequences. So thank you, Cam_H_51. Well, that's all our questions.
That's our questions there.
That's all our questions.
I was going to ask one last thing of
the
truss swing at the end.
When
did that get added in? Were you kind of pioneering that? Was it your idea, or did someone just say to you, "We want you to swing off that"?
Well, no, actually, interestingly, originally it was meant to be Max, and I'm sure Dave won't mind me talking about this. I'm sure we probably mentioned it before in other interviews or whatever, but like it got added in for the West End. No, we didn't do it on the tour. That must be why we had Max going up there. I was talking about getting the things later. Sorry if I'm getting all these details wrong. But so the truss swing, we definitely wanted, was an idea if we were putting in the Duchess in the West End. But originally, it was meant to be Max going up there, and rather than getting the papers, he would do the swing. But in the training for it, going to a circus space and stuff, I've seen the video of this happening. So crash mats, safety stuff, swingy, whatever, trapeze thing. There's a video of Dave swinging, letting go, landing on his arse safely on the crash mats, and the guy, the trainer, kind of there sitting at the side. And I remember in the video he goes, "So how was that?" And Dave just kind of looks at him and goes, "My shoulders just come out." And he goes, "What?" And then the video ends. So Dave's had he's had a lot of shoulder problems throughout history. Like his shoulders popped out during the one-act version and stuff, and like whole other story.
That's so calm.
But because of that injury and stuff, there was a rethink and like, oh, maybe we give it to Jonathan instead. And so that's kind of how it came about. So I kind of got a phone call at one point saying this has happened, and like, would I be up for doing it and like go in for training for it? And I was like, yeah, sure, whatever the show needs. And then we stuck with that. And to be like, no offense to all the Maxes out there and Dave and all that, but I think it's quite nice that it's Jonathan that gets to do it. Like Max gets plenty of limelight, so it's cool. It's quite nice that Jonathan has that kind of little extra kind of like a stunt, a fun stunt to do.
Yeah, it is good fun.
Yeah. So how do you feel about doing
good
them?
fun? Yeah, I think it's a very. I remember when we went we were in the auditions and we went to the trapeze school. And I remember being stood at the top of this
that was
platform.
part of the audition process.
That was part of the audition process.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so we did kind of stunts, we did material, and then we went into kind of physical stuff and we did stunts just to kind of see, just to check if you know, if
your shoulder's going to pop out.
Your shoulder's going to pop out, exactly, or if you didn't fancy it. And I remember being stood at the top of this trapeze at probably about 10:30, 11 in the morning, with kind of things coming, ropes and things, and just thinking, like, what am I doing? What am I doing? Which is quite funny because I was doing Operation Mincemeat at the time, and then in the afternoon I was then going to go and play a 50-year-old lady for 2.5 hours. But then being in the morning stood at this trapeze like Tarzan was
versatile,
quite fun.
Versatile
well,
performer
thrown into random things, but really great fun and a good challenge. And I think sometimes a really cool thing about acting is when you get the opportunity, you just find yourself in really weird situations doing weird things. So that's really good fun. But it remains a part of the show. I'm like, swim across the room.
Yeah. Do you have a moment like by the door? Do you have a ritual? Where I had a kind of a thing where I'd always get to the door. I'm like, breath. Here we go.
Hold on to the side. Listen for the right bit. Don't go too early. Might not where my feet are, so I don't open and just kind of like fall out. But good fun.
Yeah. Cool.
Well, there we are.
The things we do for entertainment. Well, what a lovely Elevenses this has been.
Lovely Elevenses.
Yeah.
Should we cheers?
Yes, cheers. Cheers to us.
Cheers
to us. And the play that goes wrong.
The play goes wrong. Happy 11 years.
Yeah. Next up, 12sies.